There's no rule that says you have to only use one track when you're making a snare. In fact, stacking up multiple sounds across multiple tracks is one of the most effective ways to build drums that have depth and dimension and, most of all, impact. So today I want to show you an example of how I used this technique to make a regular snare into an amazing snare. Over here on track 4, we have the FM tone machine open. Let's jump over to the LFOs. We're gonna destination set the pitch all as our target. Then we're gonna flip all the way over to completely random. We're gonna get the fastest speed possible. And we're just gonna start dialing in some of that randomness. Next, let's hop over here to our modulators. Nice and spicy. Now let's switch our algorithm, dial in this mix a little bit. If we jump over here to the harmonics, we're going to be able to really start playing with the tone of this noise. Because depending on where we put it, you get very different results. So now we need to give it some shape. Let's go over here to the amp page. Right now we're on ADSR mode. If you flip the mode button to the left, you're gonna see there's attack, hold, decay mode. This is incredibly useful for making drums because it's only gonna play for as long as we dictate on this envelope shape, which obviously is different from the ADSR, which always reflects how long you're holding down the key for. Why am I telling you this? Because when we're making drums, it's so important to be able to dial in a certain amount of sustain before dropping off, because sometimes just attack and decay is not quite enough. That is if you want your drums to have some presence. So what I find really useful is to just dial this in so that it gives me exactly the amount that I want, and then I'm set. So if we drop some notes down, what is that going to sound like with our snare? Okay. Whew. See that right there? That has a nice tail to it. Let's hop over to filter. We are in the multi-mode filter right now, but I want to switch to the legacy filter just because I'm a Digitone 1 boy at heart. So to do that, we just do function and then hit machine here, and it's going to give you the option for all these different filters. Do legacy. Now, flip it over to high pass. We're going to do a backwards envelope, meaning we're going to send the depth into the negative, and basically that's going to send the high pass all the way over to the side, meaning it's going to let in the entire frequency spectrum, and then quickly it's going to go ahead and scoop it all out. And by controlling the length of this decay, we can decide how fast that happens. So let's go ahead and do a pretty short decay, and let's dial our depth back a bit. So let's go ahead and jump to our second filter. Let's scoop out a lot of the lows and let's scoop out a lot of the highs. Now you might be thinking, why did we do all that with the high pass before? That's still going to affect this sound. It's just going to be affecting it in this much smaller bandpass window. Now it sounds a lot tighter, a lot smoother, but you're still hearing the whoosh, whoosh. How does this sound in conjunction with our snare? Ooh. That feels good. Let's compare it with the old snare. That's like night and day difference. The advantage of having all these extra tracks, being able to concentrate on just one piece of a snare like the tail and have the entire apparatus of the FM tone to shape whatever sound we want, being able to have 3 LFOs and a whole bank of effects, we have so much to gain from playing around with this. The creative advantages are just massive. I want to take this sound and shape it further and double it up and turn it into a massive clap. Let's go ahead and add some sample rate reduction. Literally my favorite effect in the entire world. Let's put some reverb on it too. So let's go ahead and double this up. Do copy, paste, and we're gonna pull them over this way so that they land a little bit behind the beat. This is a G5 note. All right, we're gonna take this down an entire octave. Take these notes and pull them ahead of the beat just slightly. Then we're gonna go back to our snare here. We're gonna pull these behind the note. And since we have the power to do this, let's go ahead and move these claps so that they hit over to the left side and these claps to hit over on the right side. In summary, in the left channel, we have our darker clap, which is arriving a little bit ahead of the beat. Then we have our middle snare right up the center, and it's gonna be landing a little bit behind the beat. And then a little bit behind the snare is our brighter clap, and that's happening in the right channel. Okay, moment of truth. Hell yeah. That's huge. Yo, Slumpfish, let me jump on this beat, bro. Let me show them how it's done. We don't have to make a snare using one track. No, we can stack a couple tricks if we know how. There's no limit. This is the Digitone sound. Frequency modulation.